We are back on Fresh Outlook. I'm Frank Cipolla, and this again is our famous lightning round, where we're going to throw some subjects out, and from our distinguished panel, we're going to get some responses. First of all, we're about a year from Hurricane Sandy. Let's talk about the political end of it and the policy end of it. Do you think it was handled properly a year later? Do you think we're all right on track based on the enormity of the situation and the tragedy?
Well, the money is coming in some places. The money is not coming in other places. It depends if you got your bills paid or not, and you got to rebuild. I think it's been politically great for Chris Christie. Mm-hmm. He looks terrific. He looks bipartisan almost with his cooperation with Obama.
Is it good for him, even though a lot of people say he has presidential aspirations? He's hugging a Democratic president, and you know there are some people on the right who don't want any association with anything that is Democrat.
Well, he's a centrist as it is, so those people are not going to like him anyway.
Okay. You're a political psychologist. Get into the head of Chris Christie.
I've done a lot of segments on Chris Christie, but I thought that this was a positive thing for him. I still think it is, but I'm halfway there with you on this one, Jackie. I think that he's got a lot of negatives going here by associating himself with the president. I think the right wing of the Republican Party is not going to go for this. I think he's going to have trouble in the primaries in 2016. I think there's a lot of people in the Republican Party that don't want someone like him to be a candidate.
And he is a Northeasterner, which at this point is perceived in some quarters as, you know, he's an elite, he's liberal, and so on, regardless of where his political stand is. D.D. Banky, he hugs it out with President Obama. I'm sure the friends on the extreme right side of your party can't be happy with that.
Yeah, but it's sort of becoming old news. I mean, you know, people who don't like him, Jackie, you're right about this.
I mean, but
they're not going to like him anyway.
I could see the TV commercial right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Of
you're
him
right.
hugging and shaking hands with President Obama.
Some people look at it, he was a good leader as a governor, and he'd be a good leader as president. And he's got such a strong personality. I mean, I really like Chris Christie. I'm much more conservative than he is, but I like him as a leader. I think he's strong. And I was okay with him hugging Obama because he was taking care of his state. He was doing his job. So a lot of the people on the right, they didn't like it, but if they think he's a good enough leader and he can win, that's the other thing too. If he can get to the primary, I think he's the best person to beat the Democrat.
See, I disagree with that because I think that his personality might suit New Jersey. We're kind of tough in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And it could work here because he gets enough Democrats voting for him, just enough.
No, but I think it's good because he's strong. Where Mitt Romney looked like a weenie a lot of times. He's too weak.
And he's personable.
You gotta love him. Funny, personable, big guy. I think it's good.
I think he comes across as harsh and arrogant at times, and I think that's going to be a problem.
The word I hear again and again is bully.
Yeah.
Well,
I want a bully.
Well, some people do, and some people think that for president it's not flattering. And
he's strong. He's strong. You could use that word instead of bully.
Well, how do you think he handled Sandy from top to bottom?
I think he handled it very well. He got money into his state, just like Dee said. He was bipartisan about it. He did what he had to do. And the shore area is looking very good in some parts of the state. I mean, I think he did a great job.
I wish he hadn't hugged him so long. but he likes the president. He had to take care of the folks in New Jersey.
Absolutely.
I agree with
I think should be cut a break on that.
I agree with what Jackie said, but I also think the president did a great job. The president handled it extremely well.
Well, you got to give us that.
It's interesting.
Compared to Katrina.
Christie, by the way.
And I hate to bring that up, Dee, but compared to Katrina.
I'm
not. I'm just being fair. I'm trying to be fair.
Talking about.
I'm just saying. Well, you gave a face to Professor Rossi, Dr. Rossi, when he said.
I just think Christie deserves all the credit on that.
No, I don't think so. I think the president stepped up and he handled himself very well.
He just rolled in a day and handed over the check and left.
Oh my goodness.
That's a little.
Christie needs to get more.
She's our resident bomb thrower. Okay, respond.
Oh, come on. This was a great right and left coming together, big bear hug, and everybody loves both of them in that circumstance.
And the coordinated effort from the president on down to Christie, there was a lot going on there from the president.
And the president gave him a lot of money.
Before we move to our next subject, I happen to believe that he has his eyes on the vice presidency, because I don't think he can win in the parts of the country that he needs to win. And if somebody comes to him and says, okay, you didn't win, but would you be vice president? He's not going to say no.
No, he's not going to say no. And he'd be a great AG, too. That's really a perfect spot for him.
I don't think he could be a number 2 guy. I don't see that.
It would be
weird to see. Well, you know better than anybody.
I just don't see that. But good point, but I don't see it.
Let's talk about Apple this week. Did you hear Apple with their new Air iPad and all these other products? It seems like Apple comes out with something every 6 months. and the bride has an iPad, and she has an iPhone, and she said it's not much different. I mean, the color might be different. The insides might be a little different. Some of the applications are better. But is Apple overdoing? Is it overexposure at this point?
I don't think it's overexposure, but people want Apple products like they used to want Air Jordans. Apple is the consummate brander. I think that all public relation and advertising people should look to them as a model of how to run their business and make a mint.
But at what point do you yawn? Okay, they're out with another product.
I agree with what Jackie said, because I think Apple has put together gadgetry and people better than anybody. And that's what they do better than any company. But I think that what's happening is that there's enough techies out there that like the next item. They like the next thing.
Well, get into the mind of the techie. You're the psychologist.
I can't wait.
What is the psychologist? What is the techie
techie's thinking? I got this now. I can handle this one. I'm waiting now to see what comes out
next
week.
It's a game for them? It's a game, a challenge?
Exactly.
It's a cool kid if you got the new product.
If they want
to, it's too light. I don't like it. I think it's a little too light. I'm happy with a little bit more weight.
All right.
Plus, the battery's not good, but that's always an Apple issue.
But on a marketing issue, do you think that coming out every 6 months, after a while, as I mentioned a moment ago, they're just going to yawn?
Well, they're
and
doing
say,
it for a reason. I mean, if they're making money, they're going to keep doing it.
I don't think so. There's enough people out there, right, that really enjoy this stuff and they want to get good at it. They feel like they're learning another product, another technique. They like it.
What about people of a certain age who are just getting used to the iPad 3 generations ago, and now they feel as though everything's passing them by?
Well, they don't have to spend their money, do they? There's enough income that's rolling around with the young kids that they can keep giving it out to Apple, and that's the point.
All right, we have 90 seconds left, and we wanted to touch on this topic. It's not an important topic, but it is the fall. It's Halloween. I spoke with a colleague of mine, a friend of mine who owns a Halloween store. He says based on Hurricane Sandy, sales are off. But generally, it's a happy time of year. Your thoughts on the fall season Halloween, quickly.
I love Halloween. It's always been my favorite holiday.
You have a costume this year?
Oh, yeah, I do.
And you are?
I'm going to be Lady Godiva in a long blonde wig on a white horse at
the naked
stable.
Girl?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think
Godiva?
she's all about her hair, Dee Dee.
Oh, I thought she was naked with
and
her
a
hair.
live horse.
I think you lost a little credibility there. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't.
Dr. Rossi, what?
I like people who really enjoy Halloween. I get a kick out of them. I'm not into it myself, but I like watching everybody through Halloween.
Did you or do you dress up your pet like the bride and I do?
Yeah, I don't have a pet or a plan or anything,
Oh.
but I do love Halloween. I think it's fun, it's festive, get to see all the outfits and people going crazy. I like it. It's fun.
I would like
And
to
the
know.
season.
I would like to know how we got some really weighty issues through costumes and
Don't
Halloween,
pet
but this is
costumes.
what we had to do. Professor Gusta, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.